and will be the Non-Prophets. I'm going to be Denis Loubet, along with who will be Kevin Stein and Jenna Belk, and we're going to be coming to you live from the Imminent Free Thought Library in what will be Austin, Texas, on the upcoming 15th of May, 2019. This show will be sponsored by the approaching Atheist Community of Austin, an impending nonprofit educational organization for the future promotion of positive atheism and the yet-to-be separation of church and state. If you're going to learn more about the ACA, you would call their forthcoming voicemail at 512-220-6561 or visit their awaited website at www.atheist-community.org. The Non-Prophets will broadcast live every oncoming first and third Wednesday of each approaching month from the anticipated 7:30 to the fated 9 o'clock Central Time. You will join the chat room by following the destined instructions at www.nonprofitsradio.com. Eventually, you're going to sit back and enjoy the upcoming show.
All right.
Thank you.
I enjoyed that. How are we
Trying
doing,
to do
Dennis?
everything in future tense. We'll see if that works.
How are we doing, Dennis?
Doing okay.
Yeah. I guess if you are watching this live or watching this at all, not doing the podcast, you will notice we do not have Jamie.
Yes.
He's a little indisposed, currently dealing with he's doing some presidenting. We get Jenna Belk. Welcome.
Hello.
I guess
Yay.
you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I guess I was told the first time that I came here that I'm a baby atheist. And that was about...
Oh, wow.
The Atheist?
Atheist, sure. That was in December, so not very long ago.
Wow, that is recent.
Yes.
Yep.
Damn.
Don't throw out the atheist with the bathwater.
What? I guess you were probably going to get into it, but what was the turnaround for you?
It was a long chain of events. You know, this caused that, which caused that, which caused that, and then it all ended up with me being an atheist. And the atheist experience on YouTube was part of that. So I found out that it was local, and so I came by desperate for help because I was like, I know nothing. So I came here trying to learn anything I could.
Yeah.
Because I was freaking out. I was like, I literally don't know how to live my life now.
Ooh.
Right. That's a surprisingly familiar story.
Yeah. I guess you mentioned earlier that you grew up in kind of a small, very insular community.
Yes. My parents tried to shelter me.
That must have been terrifying, going from a tiny, I don't know about tiny, but very small
Very
insular community, I assume very heavily religious.
Yes. Well, they were Lutheran.
Okay.
I'm not too familiar with
Yeah.
We were Catholic.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
to us, that was very, very different.
Yeah.
Yes, it was very religious.
Right.
What brought you out to Austin?
Family.
Yeah.
My dad's one of 7, and all of his siblings and my grandmother live nearby. So I came to Austin trying to get closer to my family.
So you came to Atheist Mecca, Austin, and became an atheist?
Basically. Yeah. So.
Jamie's trying to trademark that, so I'm helping him out.
Yeah.
All right, wow. Actually, no, never mind.
Yeah. So I started coming here in January, just volunteering, because I felt like this was a really good place, really good people, and it helped me. So I thought I could help other people somehow. So I came and just said, I'll literally do anything. I just want to help. So now I'm here.
Cool.
That's fantastic.
So.
Well, we're glad to have you. That's
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're here to let people know they're not alone.
Yeah, I mean that's what the community's for. It was someone who was going through a hard time, and you came here and you found community, and
I received a lot of support from people here too, because I'm still going through
Good.
Yeah.
that family members finding out and have those conversations, and so I'm finding a lot of people through the ACA.
I've seen some of your Facebook stuff.
It's
wow.
exhausting.
It looks exhausting.
I'm about to just get off Facebook again because I took like a 2-month break like a minute ago. So.
Ow.
But yeah, I was
I can understand that.
basically told that I could offer a fresh perspective
Yeah.
because I'm so new.
We can always use a fresh perspective.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, we're all trying to do a big group hug through the internet. So
Yeah, I'm feeling the love.
Well, we're glad you're here, and
Thank you.
I guess let's go ahead and get started then.
all right, sure.
I have our first article here, and this is from, believe it or not, I know,
Yes.
Christian Broadcast Network.
Oh.
I know. I'm the CBN guy.
All right. What are they talking about?
Well,
I mean, I thought everything was settled when the Bible was written, right? What could
Yeah,
they
but
possibly have to say?
I love getting their take on what they consider news.
Ah, okay.
It's fascinating.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Students succeed in getting college to block porn on campus Wi-Fi. So, again, this was CBS News. This was as of March 14th. Working together, a group of students at one Catholic college in the nation's capital has succeeded in getting their school to ban pornography from the institution's wireless network.
Okay.
The students are doing this.
It's a Catholic school, so
It's the students.
I'm surprised it had porn to begin with.
Well, I mean, it's just it's the internet, the wireless.
Right.
That's just the Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
So, the Catholic University of America's Student Government Association Senate passed a resolution last month calling for the school to prohibit access to the top 200 pornography sites through the campus network.
I'm sure there's more
Okay.
than that.
Yeah, but this is the top 200. So I guess the top most popular 200 pornography sites.
Oh, man.
I hate to break it to you guys, but the quality doesn't get better.
That's right. There's a lot more than 200.
Yeah.
The quality doesn't get better when you go to the less popular pornographic sites, I imagine.
Right.
And I would assume you're more likely to get computer viruses as well.
Mm-hmm.
So
True.
also, I mean,
But then that would be your just punishment.
yeah, but it would be God punishing you
That's right.
for looking at that naughty pornography.
God's viruses. Yeah.
So yeah, it's the Wi-Fi system, guys.
That's the thing that gets me.
Yeah,
You can just use your phone.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've got data on my phone.
Go to the
We'll
bathroom.
block it from the Wi-Fi. Our routers will not touch it.
Oftentimes, my data is faster than the Wi-Fi depending on where I am. So a lot of the time, I don't even have Wi-Fi turned on.
Right.
I almost always have it off anyways because
Yeah.
This is just an absolute nonsense, entirely unneeded piece of school legislation. I don't get it.
It's weird. Now, the headline should be something like, students succeed in imposing their opinions. on-"
Yeah. But,
yeah,
I mean,
you know.
again, this is Christian Broadcast Network.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So anyways, Joseph Ensler, the senior at the Washington, D.C. based school, came up with an idea after reading an article about how the University of Notre Dame does not ban pornography on its network. Ensler then found out that porn was not also blocked at his Catholic university. That's it. That was his
Wow.
spark. That's what sparked his idea. Like, oh,
Genius.
a different school isn't needlessly banning this, and I guess neither are we. We need to start doing that. We need to impose so-called biblical morals on the students
Right.
here in the school. Oh, and this is fantastic. So since this was student-led, John Garvey Ensler started the petition. This was a hand petition. They got 400 signatures from their
Okay.
classmates. spare a thought for the poor bastard that had to get those signatures.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how
It's like-
awkward that must have been?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I have to assume that nearly all of those 400 signatures were guys awkwardly signing it in front of their girlfriends.
It could be.
And I'm sure
could be.
they got plenty of the bird.
Yeah. I just
And hey,
Oh,
at
no.
a Catholic school, I mean, it's like, if you're not signing it, that means you're pro-porn.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
no, honey. I totally don't look at that. Yeah, I'll sign this petition.
I mean, but they know that they can use it on their phones anyway.
Right.
So that's why they're going to do the thing. They're going to show up to church on Sunday and go party on Saturday. You know,
Yeah.
Like,
They'll feel all pious because
Yeah.
they signed the
do the right thing
band.
for the Lord.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, wait, I can get around it.
Yeah.
Just what a colossal waste of time.
Of everything. Yes.
How many of these kids had to run around campus trying to get these signatures? I can't imagine how awkward that must have been.
Yep.
Just I don't know.
Well, it will increase, cellular data usage, but other than that.
Right.
Yeah, they did it in conjunction with the local whoever
right.
whoever the
Internet provider.
internet provider was, yeah.
Or
Jesus. And
Yeah.
so what's
phone provider.
also, since they had to put this to a vote, it almost didn't pass. Even in
Cool.
At a Catholic school.
Even at a
Interesting.
Catholic school, it came down to a tie, and the vice president had to break the tie. Oh, that
What's the president doing?
I don't know. I don't know if he's on his phone.
He's watching porn.
Yeah, it sounds so familiar. A needlessly idiotic piece of legislation being put forth by people who don't know anything about how the world works.
Oh.
And it having to be settled via a tiebreaker by the vice president. I feel like that sounds a little familiar. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just maybe.
Gotta wonder, did they close off all the kiddie porn sites?
I guess if they were in the top 200, then yeah.
Okay.
I would imagine that they are not. Which, I mean, I guess it makes it more likely for them to find those sites actually,
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
which is counterintuitive, I would say.
Already have a problem with that. Yes.
Yeah, you're more likely to find like the weird, gross stuff if you
Yes.
don't have access to
To the popular sites.
the
Right.
top 200 most popular sites. So, yeah, good job.
Now all that's left is latex and pee.
Yeah, so yeah, good job, guys.
I assume.
Real nice work. Oh, so yeah, I don't get that mentality of I think this is weird or I think this is gross, and I need to impose that view on everybody else.
I get
Right.
it.
Yeah,
I was very much that kind of theist.
yeah,
Yeah. When I was the kind of person who, I had family members who would stand out abortion clinics. You know, like,
Ay, ay, ay.
and I thought that was a good thing.
Right.
And I wanted to do it too, but I didn't live close enough to Austin. So
oh,
I was that kind of
shame.
person.
I have to assume it's because you thought your opinion
Was
was
the
correct
right-
one.
the
and
right
had the
one.
authority of, yeah.
See, I didn't understand the concept of there might not be a right or wrong answer. There's
right.
a spectrum of things. And it's even after deconverting, it took me a while to get that.
Right.
So
I can
I'm
imagine.
I'm still breaking those habits, and it's very difficult.
Yeah, I've had my whole life to learn that, I'm making it up as I go along.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I can't even imagine what it would be like to come to that conclusion like right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, really, that's got to be pretty terrifying because I don't think I've ever really been a believer.
Really?
Not really, not truly. Not as far back as I can remember, I've always been, it's bullshit.
Really?
Yeah. But
It took me a long time.
So many people used to be theists and now are atheists and stuff, and I hear them talking and stuff, and it makes me feel sort of like an imposter because I never had that.
Well, it's interesting.
It was weird.
Because I'm getting a lot of atheist perspective. And I grew up, the first atheist I met, I think I was in high school. And I told my mom, I let it slip to my mom. I was hanging out with an atheist. Because he didn't go to my school.
Okay.
Right.
And
he was a boy as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was a great guy, but my mom found out he was an atheist, and she's like, I won't tell your father. And I was like, oh, okay. So I don't. That was the only atheist I knew until long after high school.
Interesting.
I just didn't know any.
Yeah.
Right.
And so as now I'm like, oh, this is interesting because I have this perspective because I'm like, I understand where they're coming from. I believed everything.
Yeah.
I was
Well,
very adamant about my beliefs too.
were you a adamant believer when you knew this person? This atheist?
Yes.
Did you consider him like a target for proselytization?
No.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
No.
Well, that's nice at least.
That's good.
When I met somebody that didn't think what I thought, whether they were Lutheran or Episcopalian, all those other religions, they weren't Catholic. So they weren't correct.
Okay.
So they were all wrong. So they
All
were
wrong,
to
right.
me, they were just as wrong as atheists. They were all just different from what I believed. So they were all wrong because that's what I was told.
Yeah.
This is the one true religion.
I mean, it makes sense if you were brought to believe that you have the only correct answer, then everyone's equally wrong.
Yeah. So I was like, oh, you just believe that silly stuff. Okay, fine. You do you. It's crazy.
Interesting. Wow.
Oh, you poor bastards. You just got it slightly wrong.
Yeah, I'm so lucky. I was born into the right
religion. Roll a die, man.
And then to find out, oh my God, it's not that bad. Life is actually pretty cool.
When you're making it up yourself.
Yeah, I get to make this up.
Right. You get to decide for yourself how you're going to treat other people, what's right, what's wrong. It's sometimes a chore, but oftentimes it's enlightening. You can sit there and go, gosh, for this situation, the best result for everybody concerned is this, and I don't have to worry about appeasing some authority.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about Sky Daddy.
Exactly.
You can discover and decide, does this belief make sense? And not have to rationalize it away, even though you part of you knows that it doesn't make sense, I guess.
Right.
Again, it's hard for me, really difficult for me to bridge that gap, not understanding that mindset because I never really had it. So there have been a few times when I have kind of put my foot in my mouth a little bit on the show, and I've been corrected. But it was just out of total ignorance. And I try to correct myself when I do make mistakes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And that's all that anybody like me could ask for. That's the struggle that I'm having with some theists in my family, is because they don't understand how my brain is literally like rerouted, and I think and I talk differently now. I didn't realize that when I spoke, I literally spoke in fallacies. Like that's how I talked. And I was like learning about different fallacies, and I was like, I believe that way.
I do that.
I do that. I do that.
Yes.
I do that. And I was like, oh my God, that's how I've been living my life.
Yeah, and you probably said them as if they were. I'm gonna probably say this. Truthism.
I don't know what that is.
If I'm remembering correctly, it's pointing out something very obviously true, but as if it is somewhat profound, like water is wet. Like, well, yeah,
right.
We all know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
If I'm getting that wrong, please tell me.
No, that's right.
Filtering everything through the religion, I guess.
Everything.
Deal.
When it comes
Wow.
to, okay, just a real quick example. When I was in a bad situation living with a brother and a sister, financially, it was just bad for us. And I needed to get out because it was draining my savings account. And so I talked to the leasing agent and I was able to get out. But to my siblings, they were like, we're your siblings. You can't leave us. And I was like, well, I'm just going to leave it up to God. So if I can get off of my shift tomorrow morning, and if I can get a U-Haul and I can actually go through with this, then that's just a sign to me that it's meant to happen. So it's going to happen. And that's how I made decisions.
Wow.
Wow.
Interesting.
That's an inevitable result. Right. It has to be that way. Yikes.
Yeah.
Jesus, take the wheel.
It's no wonder I spent my life spiraling down with addiction and all kinds of trouble. And now that I'm like, oh my God, now I see how my brain can work. And it's literally changed my life. I lost 40 pounds. I quit drinking. I'm in the process of quitting smoking. I mean, like everything is changing.
I'm glad I didn't.
Congratulations.
That's why I'm here.
It's
That's
awesome.
why I'm here. It's because I want that from more people. It's incredible and it's indescribable to somebody who hasn't made that flip.
Right. You know, you're not just a before and after, but it's pretty stark.
Yeah.
It's a huge contrast.
Wow.
So
Oh, congratulations.
I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
all right.
really awesome.
That sounds great.
Glad I didn't offer you a drink.
Oh, thank you, Shayna Lynn. She's in the chat. She said, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I always thought religion, when I was growing up, as a little kid, I always thought religion was like fandom, for adults and stuff.
I feel like
everyone
it
was
is.
talking about Star Wars or Star Trek or something because, in our school we watched a movie, The Littlest Angel, and stuff. And
I don't know that.
I thought it's a movie, it's entertainment, it's got to be fiction, right? So, but then later I discovered no, people actually believe this stuff, and I went, okay, that got dark quickly.
I thought Adam and Eve were apes.
Really?
Oh,
Because I was taught evolution in school, but I was taught creation in
Interesting.
GCD. And so I thought, oh, well, that just means that, it just goes back and Adam and Eve must have been apes.
Hairy apes.
Yeah.
Interesting. But you weren't insulted that you were related to apes.
No, because I saw it.
Wow,
It made
because it
sense.
seems like, whoa, that is bizarre.
It just made
That is a
sense.
bizarre mashup of
I just picked what
evolution
made
and
sense.
religion.
Yeah.
Oh,
You were
wow,
halfway-
that's
you were-
cool. I've never heard that before.
Yeah, you were
That's
halfway
neat.
there, just by a default, thinking rationally with the tools that
That's
you were
fascinating.
given.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's.
Which were not very good tools.
I mean, there are a lot of people who who should know better, and they basically take that stance just because they're intellectually lazy and they think that, oh well, this is a reasonable middle ground. Like, I'm going to believe in this God, and I'm going to believe in evolution, and then I won't get yelled at by anybody.
I wouldn't consider it intellectually lazy.
For some people, I would.
For some
I would
people,
say
probably,
that,
yeah.
But I don't want to broad brush too much. But
I know that for me it wasn't.
thinking
I
of
was,
someone in specific.
Okay.
No.
I was trying to find something. I was trying to figure it out in my head. My family telling me you can't be a cafeteria Catholic because I was doing some
Right.
things and not others, and I was just trying to do what made sense,
Right.
And my grandpa would tell me you can't be a cafeteria Catholic, and I was like, oh, fine, I'm not a Catholic then.
Ooh,
So
I've never heard of that.
that'll show them.
cafeteria Catholic? Oh, that's a thing.
Okay.
It means you pick and choose what you like. You can't just pick the macaroni and leave the Brussels sprouts. You got to
Right.
take it all or leave it all.
Oh, I see. I got you.
So you're either a Catholic or you're not.
I was looking at it from like a soup kitchen angle.
You can.
Right. It's sort of the no true Scotsman there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyway,
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
no.
That's cool.
It is refreshing to get that perspective sometimes, because I do forget that. Yeah, a lot of our viewers are apostates, and it's hard for me to relate to them. you know?
Yeah, I
I
understand.
don't
Yeah.
have that perspective.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move on.
Right.
No, I that was a great diversion. Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and move on. This is from Hemet Meta.
Huh?
Ken Ham, the gay wedding on Arthur will capture kids and pervert their minds.
Oh, boy.
So, for those of us young enough, I know that I'm young enough to remember Arthur.
Yeah, I watched
Did you ever?
Oh, yes.
Are you
I saw
familiar?
that. Yeah.
Okay. So yesterday, a new episode of the children's cartoon Arthur revolved around the mystery of the main character's third grade teacher, Mr. Ratburn, who was marrying. Who Mr. Ratburn was marrying. They found out at the wedding that he wasn't marrying the woman they suspected. Instead, it was another man. Now, the best part of the episode was once the kids figured out who Mr. Ratburn was marrying, they just moved on with their lives. They were happy that he was happy, and they didn't dwell on the same-sex aspect of the marriage, nor did they condemn it. They
I
just,
think that's awesome.
Cool.
it happened. They're like, oh, all
Normal
right,
thing.
interesting. He didn't marry who we thought he was going to marry. Good for him. We're glad that he's happy. But predictably, some people
Teaching children.
Yeah, some people are not too happy about that. Ken Ham, in particular, tweeted out, "You can't trust what your kids may watch on PBS. You can't trust what they may watch on Netflix that carries programs like Arthur. You can't trust ratings on TV programs and movies. The evil one is out to capture your kids and pervert their minds."
I was told stuff like that about Harry Potter.
Yeah.
I was told stuff like that about, let's see, who else?
Well, I mean, Harry Potter had magic in it, though.
That's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
I wasn't
It
supposed to
was-
read that. It was bad. But Lord of the Rings was okay.
Really?
Because
Interesting.
You want to know why? This is what I was
Why?
told by the theists in my family. I was told that Harry Potter is bad because it takes place in a normal world and it's trying to convince kids that there's actually a different world, and the kids are like,
okay.
we believe that. But Lord of the Rings takes place in obviously
Utterly
fantasy land.
fantasy.
So that's okay.
Interesting. I would have guessed that they would have said like Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe would
Yeah.
be fine because it's an allegory for God in the Bible. But
Ooh.
that
I don't know. I got to ask them.
Lord of the Rings. I think actually Tracy was talking about Lord of the Rings on the last AXP, or maybe I could be wrong, but it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be like a new mythology, basically, is what she was saying.
I haven't.
For Western Europe.
What's kind of weird about this is that when I was growing up and I described seeing the movie The Littlest Angel, it's like seeing a Christian movie made me think, oh, this is just fiction.
How'd you feel about Passion of the Christ?
I never saw that one.
Oh, I didn't see that either.
Okay.
Did you?
Yeah, I
mean,
deliberately did not go and see that.
I've seen reviews
mind.
for it.
It was a little too much for me.
Did you see it?
Oh, I cried.
Did you see it like, with a church group or something?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
It was like an every year thing for a little while.
Oh, man.
Wow.
I was a believer.
Wow. Okay. So,
Gosh, I have a question for you with the Christian hat on.
yeah. I'm gonna get through the last of
Yeah,
these.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
This is Hammett just kind of making fun of Ken Ham. Leave it to a real man depicting fiction to get scandalized by fiction depicting reality. Imagine how bigoted you have to be to get this worked up about the love life of a cartoon rat.
Seriously.
Yes.
Seriously.
Good point.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like they don't realize what's real and not real.
It's a talking rat.
Gosh.
So that was Ken Ham reacting to Arthur.
Wow.
Once again, the Christian Broadcast Network also reacted, and they had a little more info to weigh in on.
Yeah.
They said later, Arthur and his pals briefly discussed the wedding. And Francine tells her friends, quote, "Yep, it's a brave new world." End quote. Perhaps a nod to the changing cultural times, according to People magazine. So, I mean, yeah. Although I do feel like adding that in the cartoon was unnecessary. Yup, it's a brand new world. Acknowledging that, like,
Used to be, this wouldn't have worked.
Yeah.
Did it not work in Ratland before?
Ratland doesn't necessarily have to be exactly the same as real,
right?
As reality.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It seems like a weird throwaway line for them to add. They could have done without it.
Yeah.
You don't have to say.
Apparently, it mentions they didn't use the word gay in the.
Yeah, that's a very strange thing for CBN to just throw in. It is a complete throwaway. It says the word gay was not used in the episode.
Yeah.
And then we move on.
Yeah, it's one paragraph.
Why did you include that, CBN? That was unnecessary. Why? And also, why would the cartoon use the word gay?
I wonder who went through and was like listening for the word.
Yeah.
Nope. They didn't say.
Have to assume someone was.
Yeah, surely they're not going to have a gay wedding and call it a gay wedding, right? No, they're just going to call it a wedding because that's what it is.
Yep.
In any case, this is not the first time the cartoon series has featured a gay character. In a 2005 episode from the spin-off series, quote, "Postcards from Buster," Arthur's best friend meets several children who live with two moms while on a field trip to Vermont. Again, the word lesbian was not used in the episodes. Why did you include that in your article?
That's weird.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares but you.
Because they're not from the Isle of Lesbos.
Yeah. So again, this was 2005. PBS later pulled that episode after receiving a letter from the goddamn Secretary of Education at the time, Margaret Spellings, who condemned the episode and asked PBS to strongly consider returning the federal money that went towards its production.
Now, that is censorship.
Wow. The goddamn Secretary of Education made them pull that episode and told them if you don't pull that episode, you should give that money back, and that is also a veiled threat that we're going to cut your funding.
Yeah, that's absolutely ridiculous.
So that was Bush era.
Yep, that is censorship.
Right.
That is plain and simple.
I don't know. I wonder if the new education secretary is going to do the same fucking thing. I guess we'll find out because this
I don't see why it's not likely.
This episode aired yesterday.
Oh boy.
So
all right,
we'll see.
I'm gonna go check it out.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll listen.
Whether or not Betsy DeVos
watch the news
handles this any better than Margaret Spellings did.
Wow.
So CBN goes on. They include some a reaction from viewers that People magazine posted. And there's one throwaway. I've used the word throwaway like 5 times now. There's one comment from just a random person, random no-name person, that I will read to you now. Quote, "It is not up to PBS to brainwash/recruit children. The gay community is in the vast minority. One wouldn't know it, though, between TV, movies, commercials, etc. The gay mafia is out in full force."
Wow.
Wow. And that brainwash thing, that's the one that CBN chose to cherry pick for the title of this article, which is PBS accused of brainwashing kids after Arthur features a gay wedding. Gee, I wonder why CBN cherry-picked that specific thing. Maybe because they wanted to throw the word brainwashing in
Absolutely.
arbitrarily.
It's emotional appeal, but it's... they're the ones doing the CBN is the one doing the brainwashing.
Yeah. I mean, well...
It's bizarre. I mean, they obviously think that if someone tells you should be a certain... You should be attracted to certain people, certain kinds of people, enough that you'll just change from what you are to what they say you should be.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't recall, picking my attraction. There was no point where I decided to choose.
No, I don't think I ever made that decision.
Wow.
Either. I really liked PBS's statement. It said in a statement to People magazine, PBS wrote, PBS Kids programs are designed to reflect the diversity of communities across the nation. We believe it is important to represent the wide array of adults in the lives of children who look to PBS Kids every day.
That's beautiful.
That's perfectly reasonable.
Yes, that is. I don't know if they could have said it any better.
Yeah.
That is a show to teach children about the world around them, and to show them that they included a gay character because gay people exist in reality, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why they did
Whether
that.
you know it or not.
It is not the gay mafia shoving, this down your throats. It is just an acknowledgement that these people exist.
Yeah.
Yeah. PBS Kids did a great job here. I
Cool.
love their statement. And
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I don't know if they could have worded it any better. And CBN, fuck you.
Well, yeah, they're going to editorialize the hell out of it.
So yeah, and actually that segues very nicely into a Pew Research poll that came out yesterday about majority of public favors same-sex marriage, but divisions persist. Now I want to refer back to that 2005 episode where they had the of Arthur, where the kids had the two mommies and the secretary,
right.
the education secretary, basically had them pull the episode. Back in 2005, there was I'm going to go ahead and say about a 39% favorability for gay marriage among U.S. adults. Yeah. Currently, we're at about...
Sorry, it was on the decline.
Yes, it was. It was absolutely on the decline. And right now, we are at a 61% favorability.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
And let's see, public remains supportive. Yeah, so we're at 61% support for gay marriage and 31% in opposition. Among Democrats, that is 75%, and among Republicans, that is 44%. So definitely, we all know that it is a party line kind of thing, but, again, brand new Pew Research poll. And it's interesting to see how poorly the education secretary handled that back in 2005.
Right.
When we had, 30-something or 40-something percent favorability, and now we're at 61. So,
yeah. But apparently both the Democratic and Republican opinions are increasing. So.
yeah. Oh, yeah. There is a steady increase across the board.
Of acceptance.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, again, it has nothing to do with the gay mafia.
Right.
Is there a gay mafia?
You know what? I don't know.
How does
That's
that
a good
even
answer.
work?
That's a very good answer.
How does that even work?
I'm a skeptic, so.
Hey, how you doing?
Until such time as there is sufficient evidence to believe in a gay mafia, I am not going to believe. I am going to withhold believing in a gay mafia.
It's wise.
The gay mafia lives on the flat earth. Everyone knows that.
That's right.
Underneath it.
That's right. They live underneath the flat earth in the hollow.
That's why you can't see them.
Wait, is it a hollow earth or a flat earth?
Flat earth.
Because, you can't have both. I want to see a hollow earth person and a flat earth person have a debate.
Right. Hollow earth, flat earth, fight.
I would love to see that debate. Moderated debate on a stage, flat earth, hollow earth.
Yeah.
There might just
Somebody
be one.
please make that happen.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That would be glorious. Anyways, so do we? Do you have a question, Dennis?
Well,
I think it's about that time.
yeah. Let's see if I can get it if I can get it straight in my head.
Yeah.
Christians like to state that what Jesus did was a sacrifice and it was a gift. He gave us this, means of getting into heaven or whatever, right?
Sure,
it's
sure.
a gift. But I don't think they use that word, but I don't think they know what it means. Because it's like there's all sorts of strings attached to this gift. You've got to follow the rules. You've got to believe certain things. You've got to accept it. Mm-hmm. It's kind of weird. It's like the religion has warped people's idea of the word gift. I mean, a gift is something freely given, no strings attached.
True. I mean, I don't think I've ever given someone a gift and
Required them to.
expected much less required anything in return.
Yeah. What is a conditional gift?
Can I answer that?
Sure,
I
yes.
would love for you to answer that.
So the way that I saw it was a sacrifice
Yeah.
on his part.
Right.
It was Jesus deciding that if he were to go through this torture and this pain,
Right.
that God would forgive us and reopen the gates of heaven.
Okay.
And
Wait, were they open before?
no, they closed.
Wait, when did they close?
Yeah.
Were they open at any point?
Yes.
When?
Well, actually, I don't know. I just know that they closed,
Yeah, because
and we wanted them to reopen.
interesting.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Okay.
Jesus was the only one
the
that
way
could
to do
reopen
that.
them.
Right.
And so he was going to die for all of our sins.
Okay.
And so it was a sacrifice on his part. And all that he asked was the bare minimum, which were like the 10 Commandments. So that wasn't like a list of demands. It was like, this is how you show me that you respect me and that you love me.
Okay.
It was like, this is how you love someone.
Is that the jot and tittle?
I don't know if that is.
It's
okay. Yeah, I think you're referring to Jesus saying that he wasn't going to.
change the old rules.
Yeah, he wasn't going to change the rules of the Old Testament, not a jot nor a tittle.
Right.
He was, damn it. Jamie would be able to remember.
I don't
I'm
remember
sure.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But, see, I was Catholic, so I never read the Bible.
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh.
I started reading the Bible that I got for confirmation after I became an atheist, and I had a pink highlighter.
Right.
I was like, I'm going to
That's
highlight all the
amazing.
bullshit I find. And I started, and I got like a page or two in. I was like, I'm done. I can't. And then I found out there's a Skeptics Annotated Bible online. I was like, they did it all for me. I don't even have to do it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh,
Although it's
man.
like twice as much reading because you read the Bible and then you go over on the other half of the page and it's them pointing out all the bullshit.
Right. Yes.
you know?
Right.
So it takes twice as long to read the fucking
And
thing.
then there's the thing. They're using the word sacrifice, and it's like, what did Jesus give up?
His life.
Matt would say he gave up a weekend.
If he gave up his life,
I know. It didn't.
Yeah.
See, that didn't click to me. That's why I post memes like that now, because like I'd never heard of it from that perspective before.
right? If they'll
Nobody
say,
ever said
if they
that
say,
before.
Yeah.
Jesus gave up his life, do they agree with the statement Jesus is dead?
Yes,
They do.
but he's risen. I don't know.
So
I know it's
Is he
it's
dead or
very
alive?
confusing. It's very confusing
he's a
because I look
zombie
back,
or something.
I look back now. I'm like, I don't understand how I believed this stuff. I don't.
It's weird.
I don't get it. but then I do because I did.
You have the most unique insights that I've ever heard. It's interesting.
I'm glad I can help.
I'm sorry.
Maybe you should be on the show more often.
Yeah.
if you want me to,
if we're not too intimidating.
Yeah, not at all. I'm having fun.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah.
Gift and sacrifice is weird because, Jesus sacrificed his life. Then he gets up 3 days later. And if you look at it, he hasn't lost anything. Now he's sitting on the right hand of God in heaven, king of the universe. It sounds like the greatest deal ever. So it's weird.
Yeah. I mean, you could certainly make a semantic argument, but
Yes. I'm talking semantics here, but a conditional gift is weird. Yes, here I'm giving you this thing, it's all yours,
Yeah.
but you can only use it a certain way, or you have to do this for me now.
Everything was conditional.
Wait a minute. So what a conditional gift is called is a purchase, a transaction, an exchange of goods for services rendered. Here, I'll give you this salvation. You give me your undying faith and loyalty and stuff like that. It's weird. It's not a gift.
Yeah, and I guess to an immortal being, a couple hours of pain that's essentially nothing.
Yeah, we have to assume that. But
compared
then,
to an eternity of being just blissfully the most powerful thing in the universe.
And then I can draw in a bunch of other weird stuff like Judas. That all wouldn't have gone down without him. He was crucial.
Well, yeah.
He was doing the will of the God, of Jesus, of the whole thing. And yet he's the villain.
So
what the hell?
Did Judas have free will then?
I don't know.
Because he was essential.
Wasn't Judas the one that cried? I was told a story that Judas went and cried.
Oh, I don't know.
So much that he had scars on his face.
Whoa.
What?
I hadn't heard that one. That's
and
interesting.
That he felt so guilty that he was forgiven.
He felt so guilty that apparently in the Bible he felt so guilty that he killed himself in multiple ways or something. It was weird. He hung himself or his entrails fell out or something horrible. It was.
I don't know.
It was really
I'd heard
weird.
a story. I don't know. I don't know where I heard that story.
I don't know if you can cry to the point of scarification.
That's interesting.
I don't think that's a thing.
Can saline erode your skin?
Yeah, but it sounds great as a way to get a message across. Oh, he was so
Yeah.
sad.
There's a lot of those stories.
Interesting, but that sort of suggests he did something he didn't want to do. He didn't want to do it so much that he cried and scarred himself. So how can he be a villain?
Well, he felt
It's so
guilty
weird.
after.
He felt guilty after. Okay.
Shame.
Oh, God.
Shame is encouraged.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Okay. Actually, I had, and you might just be the perfect guest to bounce this off of. I have noticed that the forgiveness culture within Christianity, it just feels very self-serving to me. I'm putting myself on a pedestal above others, and I am so great. I am so self-righteous that I am willing to, and I'm going to forgive no matter what. And this struck me today when I was reading an article. I decided not to do it because it was so horrendous, but it was a priest that was, he had been raping his daughter.
Oh, yeah.
And
Right.
A bunch of his, flock basically came to court to back him, and he got a severely lenient sentence because of all of the people backing him that were, he was their pastor. Jeez. And they're like, no, he's too good of a man. He's too good, and he did this and that, and we forgive him because we're good Christians. And it seems to me that is far more about you being feeling better about yourself that you are so forgiving and you are so much holier than thou. And it's less about the actual forgiveness and whether or not that person should be forgiven.
So my take, there's a couple pieces to that. For one thing, my perspective looking back is that I was told a lot of stories about how the Catholic faith was dying and we were losing priests and this is bad. And so we have to do everything that we can to protect our own, basically. So this is a way of clustering everyone even closer together and shutting everyone else out.
Right.
Right? So then it's like we're in this group together and we have to stick together, right? But there's also a hierarchy.
Right.
And I'm definitely the bottom of the hierarchy.
Sure.
But I'm at least in this group.
Yeah.
So I'm still above you. Even though I'm the bottom of the group. I'm at least lucky enough to be in the group. So I'm higher than you, so I'm going to forgive you for me.
Oh. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Huh. Wow.
Because I can't expect you to change. I can't expect anything from you. So I'm going to go ahead and forgive you.
Yeah, just
Wow.
turn your nose up.
Ouch.
Yeah, was that really a kind of a unspoken mentality?
That's how I thought.
Yeah.
I can't speak for others. I'm not speaking for everyone here. I'm speaking for me.
Right.
Man, I was hoping I'd be more off base, to be honest.
No, it's terrible. And that's one of the reasons that I'm so passionate about it. And I keep blabbing my mouth on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because I believed this way, and I'm confident that I was not the only one that believed this way.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why I'm so loud now.
Cool.
And now I have a microphone.
Be loud. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So.
Yeah, that
man.
had been... Yeah, that article bummed me out because it got into some graphic details, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to do that. I don't want to cover that.
I can say that I would not have been one of those people to choose to forgive that guy because I still, for some reason, would see it as, no, he raped his daughter.
Yeah.
I don't care. But I also, I was very much a black sheep, and I'm even more a black sheep now. So there was something wrong with me.
Yeah, it seems to be this idea that, we will forgive someone no matter what. And that makes us better than better than those atheists or those other religions that
they don't know how to forgive.
Yeah, they don't know how to forgive.
Wow.
They don't have forgiveness as a core tenet. And you know what? I'm gonna go out and say that forgiveness is not deserved a lot of the time.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't deserve to be forgiven by anyone.
Right. Well,
He raped
he can be
his goddamn daughter.
forgiven by the person he wronged.
Well, so
Okay.
But yikes, he has an unfortunate relationship and
I don't know how to.
imbalance of power over that person.
if you want to absolutely push back if you want.
Well, so the thing is that there's so much there. I've done what I look back now as some very terrible things, and I've said some very terrible things.
Sure.
Now, you can look at me and say, you were a terrible person, or you were in a situation where you didn't know any better, right?
Right.
So I can't say that I've sexually abused anybody, but I've done bad things for reasons that I didn't have control over.
Right.
So
Understanding is a big...
Yeah, I mean, this guy habitually
I mean, he was
did
probably
something that he knew was horrendous.
maybe he didn't. Maybe the same thing happened to him as a child. Maybe I mean, I'm just saying we don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
We don't know. And I'm very short now to assume that I know, because I used to be like, oh, well, you're obviously a bad person.
Right.
And now that I'm educating myself and getting different perspectives, I'm like, each time I find somebody that looks like a bad person, I find out more, and I find out a lot about how they grew up or and I'm like, oh, that's why. because
Right.
they were raised like I was.
Mm-hmm.
I have certain people around me that are going down a path that I'm actually scared of because they were raised the way that I was. Now, the reason that I'm not still on that path is because I was rejected by them. And so I sought affection and love elsewhere. But these people who were accepted, who are still close to me, are still in that mindset.
still
and they're
stuck.
staying. Because they're accepted by the entire group.
Yeah. I would say, given the current evidence,
Wow.
from my perspective, this guy doesn't deserve forgiveness. And he sure as fuck didn't deserve a lenient sentence just because he was a pastor.
I think he deserves rehabilitation.
That I have to agree. Yeah. Well, yes. Rehabilitation,
The justice system needs...
ideally, would be the thing.
I think he's a human.
The justice system and the prison system needs an overhaul
Definitely.
pretty severely. But that's a whole other can of worms right there.
You're right. I mean,
We have the highest...
with my opinion of free will and stuff not being a thing, it's like, then it would behoove us to treat people like, people who do what we consider bad things, treat them like malfunctioning,
Yes.
units, and go, oh, well, we have to repair this person.
Yes.
Yeah, we have the highest recidivism rate of any country in the world, and we also have the highest incarceration rate of any country in the world.
Right. Our means of correcting are super crude and don't work.
And how many of them are just drug addicts?
Yeah.
I'm an addict.
Yeah, we've
And
definitely
you know what
we
fixed me?
have transitioned entirely away from sexual predators. Just to be clear.
True. I'm just saying.
Right.
I should have been locked up, according to the law, many times.
Uh-huh.
What fixed me was rehab.
Wow. Okay.
I learned things in rehab and came out of rehab, and I was pissed. I was like, how come I didn't learn that stuff in school? How come I didn't learn these life techniques anywhere? I've never heard this stuff before. Mindfulness, what is that? And I had heard that word before in rehab, and I'd written it on my arm because it helped me with my anxiety. I had panic attacks.
Uh-huh.
And that idea, that concept of stopping and looking and being self-aware and in the moment was so unfamiliar to me.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is a problem.
Yeah.
This is a problem.
Wow. It's like was the very concept of introspection, which I guess is similar, was that frowned upon?
I was just so caught up in the past and the future that I was spending no time in the present. I would go to bed at night and be like, why did I do that?
Well, it makes sense if you're kind of raised and caught up in a dogmatic world, and you have that mindset. Introspection, it really is frowned upon.
Yeah.
Right.
Because if you are analyzing the things that are being told to you, and you are just supposed to accept them at face value and not analyze them, then
That is weird.
I remember many times I would have a question about something. And I'm picturing myself at like 10. And I would have a question and I'd be like, oh, I'm never going to find the answer to that. Hey, God, you'll remember when I get up there. So let me ask you this question. And then when I die and get up there, then you can answer it. And then I'll find out then, because I'm just not going to find out here. So. And I can't take anything with me, so I'm not going to write it down. So
That
I'm
is
just
bizarre.
You can do everything, so you can remember for me. That was my logic. That was logic.
Wow.
Oh man,
That's amazing. That's okay. It's a twisted place. More than I can imagine.
yeah, and it's it's thinking like that in communities and cultures that prop that up. That's holding us back societally. And that is why religion is a problem, and that is why we need to continue the fight.
Right. And I have to assume you, the bad situation you were in, and I guess you realize that there are still people left in that bad situation. They're dealing with the same demons you have, and they're not seeing it the way you see it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And I'm trying to tell them,
man.
and they're seeing me as a demon that's trying to take their soul.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
They're busy praying for my soul,
They're trying to moralize that.
trying to get me to come back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
So sad.
I do not envy your situation. I have.
Appreciate that.
That has to be frustrating.
Overwhelming to say the least. Exhausting.
I've got some friction within my own family, but I don't think it's at that level at all.
Good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I'm coming to realize how lucky I've been.
Well,
Wow.
all right. Actually, has there been anything of note in the live chat since we have it up for a change? Does anyone have? Hey, live chat. Do you guys have any questions as well?
I don't see any questions.
No.
I've got a story.
Oh,
Sure.
Okay. Well, actually,
Oh, right.
There's a 30-second
Hasn't
delay on the live
filtered
chat.
over to them yet.
okay.
So we'll
So-
just wait and have dead air for 30 seconds.
That makes for great radio. It's a great
does.
idea. Actually, before you go ahead and do that, I want to get to this because it might take a little bit longer than that, the usual 15-minute allotment. So I'm going to go ahead and dive into it. I got this off of Religious News Service, and it was posted yesterday. American University, Cairo, religion professor loses post in academic freedom fight.
Okay.
So, a Saudi billionaire, Tariq Tahir, whose father endowed a chair in a comparative religion for comparative religion at American University in Cairo, that is Egypt, has pressured the school to take the position away from an American scholar teaching Egyptian students about religions other than Islam.
Wow.
So, I'm going to try and synopsize this a little bit. So this this American professor, he moved to Cairo, and he got a position doing a comparative religion course in fucking Egypt, which is pretty amazing. Mm-hmm. On top of that, he got a extraordinarily coveted and important named chair, which is the
Good luck.
Abdul Hadid
Hey, that
H.
sounds good.
Tahir chair. I watched videos. I watched an interview with this guy, and I watched it a couple of times so I could get the pronunciation right. Is the Abdul Hadid H. Tahir Chair of Comparative Religions. And so I'm going to go ahead and do Abdul Hadid H. Tahir was a Saudi billionaire who died in 2013, and part of his legacy was to create this chair, this endowment at the university. It was part of, he wanted to leave something to his name other than just the billions of dollars that he made in oil money. And part of the reason that he did that was he wanted to bring about peace. He wanted to bring about greater understanding of, yes, all these religions are different, but there are a lot of things that they share in common.
Right.
And we can reach common ground, and we can, we don't have to be at each other's throats. And sadly, his son, Tariq Tahir, is kind of trying to unravel that legacy that he left. Because he inherited his father's billions upon billions of dollars in his company, and he is throwing that money around. And I think it was back in 2017, or early 2017, he leaned on the university to get rid of the Abdul Hadid H. Tahir Chair of Comparative Religions.
Wow. Okay.
And because
Asshole.
and the reason that he did this is he met with this professor, Professor Adam Duker, and he said, "Look, I want you to promote Islam in your classroom over all the other religions when you're doing comparative religion classes." And Professor Duker didn't want to play ball. He even tried to schmooze him. He invited him out to one of his mansions out in Malibu, California, and tried to get Professor Duker like, hey, this is going to be good for all of us if you just play ball. He even went so far as to basically demand that Duker hand over and have Tariq Tahir his curriculum before he actually teaches his students.
Make sure it's enough for them.
Yeah. He said that you're not allowed to do anything but Abrahamic religions, because before he had Christianity, Islam, and Judaism, but also Hinduism and Buddhism and a couple other religions as well. But he's like, okay, nope, only Abrahamic religions for one. And you have to, in your coursework, steer your students towards the conclusion that Christianity and Judaism are, fatally flawed, basically, and you have to convert them. So, again, Professor Duker did not play ball. Good. He maintained academic, integrity. So that's why this Saudi billionaire went to leaning on the administration.
Right.
Initially, they went ahead and said kind of under, hush hush, hey, he's getting rid of this chair. If you don't play ball, maybe just stop using your title. Stop using that title of Abdul Hadid H. Tahir Chair, and just for a little bit of In any case, so he wouldn't do that. He wouldn't do that either. He kept using his official title because that was his official title. That was his
chair, yeah.
And when it got out that he was continuing to use his official title, as this billionaire did not want him to be doing, he leaned even heavier. They went on a field trip during this whole hullabaloo. They went on a field trip to, I think it was Israel, and while they were in Israel, he was with about 6 different students, and there were officials from the Ministry of Antiquities and armed guards that accosted them and tried to get him to abandon his students and go to an interrogation room. And he flat out refused. He's like, no, I'm not going anywhere with you. If you have anything to talk to me about, you can talk to me here in front of my students. And they tried to say, no, you have to come with us. He's like, nope, I don't have to come with you. No, you have to come with us. And eventually they finally were like, okay, fine. And they went away. They were, I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say that they were not from the Antiquities Ministry.
Yeah.
That's weird. Yeah. And so when they got back, basically, Duker was told that his position is gone.
Right.
And unfortunately, today, May 15th was actually his last day working at the University of Cairo, or
American University.
American University Cairo. It's just,
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I'm not doing it justice because I'm not remembering everything.
No,
But
But
this was such a crazy story to me.
yeah.
It's religious pressure, from a person with, near infinite resources, and yeah.
Yeah, and again, he's this guy, Tahir, is kind of pissing all over his father's legacy of this endowment that he created in the university, because he doesn't care about peace, and he doesn't care about knowledge, and he's a religious extremist, and he was trying to just turn a religious comparative religion class into an indoctrination class.
Right.
And man, when you've got billions of dollars to throw around, you can make shit happen.
Yes.
Yeah, that disturbs me.
So-
Finding out about how much money was thrown towards the cathedral. Just the amount of money.
Oh, yeah,
that the amount of influence that money has. Just really gets under my skin.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, this endowment is not at all a big deal. It is apparently worth approximately $3.5 million. It is the largest endowment for the humanities in the Arabic-speaking world.
Wow.
The quote, it was put up to support a course of study which exemplifies the belief of Dr. Tahir, that is senior, by teaching religious tolerance and equality, thereby promoting peace.
So much for that.
And his son is completely walking that back.
Oh man.
On top of that, the university has been attempting to go after Professor Duker legally by saying that him continuing to use that title is basically damaging the image of the university, and that they could hold him fully. Meanwhile, Duker said that he had been threatened by the university for continuing to use his title. Quote, "Your continuous use of this title is causing financial and reputational damage to AUC, for which we intend to hold you fully liable under the law." Again, that is for no other reason than the fact that this Saudi billionaire is
Pressuring them.
pressuring them, because he wants what he wants, and he's got enough money to force them. And
Yeah, it's crazy.
it is religious extremism meets, just fuck tons of money. And
Yes.
it's really sad that today was Professor Duker's last day teaching comparative religion at a UC. But I've got to assume that he's going to be moving on to universities that are willing to hold themselves to a higher standard.
We hope. Yes.
So, all my best to Professor Duker, and, thank you for actually maintaining some academic
Standards.
Yeah. And some integrity.
Takes balls.
Cool.
Yeah. Especially in fucking Egypt, when you've got armed people who are presumably pretending to be officials saying, "Hey, you need to come with us. We need to interrogate you about X, Y, and Z."
Right.
Scary.
Like, no, I'm not going to abandon my students and go be interrogated by you. You might be hiding a bone saw. I don't know.
No, I don't want to disappear because this is how you disappear.
Yeah, that's how you fucking disappear. Oof. So yeah, I think we've got some questions in the live chat.
Yes. Are they interrogating us? What do they want to know?
Well, there's 3
Yeah.
right here.
Okay.
First one's from Prim. Will you finally admit that the true God is coffee? I'm going to go with tea.
No, no.
The true God is caffeine.
Yeah, caffeine. We'll go with that.
It's in coffee.
I actually, everyone gives like this really weird, reflexive, knee-jerk reaction every time I say this.
Yeah.
But I don't really drink a lot of coffee and I don't really drink a lot of energy drinks because they are just, the markup on them I think is too high and also it's just extra calories.
Oh,
so
sure.
more often than not, I will just like take a caffeine pill.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, caffeine pills. Has everyone but me had a bad experience with that?
I have.
No.
Just take one.
I took one and I just felt sick. Like I felt really nauseous.
Oh.
I was trying to go out and I ended up not being able to go out.
Wow.
I don't overdo it.
Okay.
I just take one, and that's basically the same as a cup of coffee, relatively.
I think I'm
And
sensitive.
yeah,
Could
I don't know.
I think I'm sensitive to things because I don't drink coffee because I get really bad heartburn.
Ah, all right.
So I drink tea. You know,
Yeah, tea's good.
I've learned to appreciate tea. It's one of the things I've discovered.
So, sorry, Prim. I'm gonna go ahead and say no.
Michael said, Jenna, what was the moment you realized you no longer believed? Ooh, I remember. It was in October, and I was sitting at my desk, and at my job that I have now, I get to kind of put on a video or an audiobook or something in headphones and just
Oh,
kind
that's
of
the
work
best.
while I entertain myself. And I had gotten to the point where I was like, okay, I'm going to figure this shit out for real. And I started watching atheist versus theist debates on YouTube.
Ooh, interesting.
And they're like, hours long. And so I'm
Right.
just like putting on the debate and I'm just doing my work. And
Nice.
the YouTube algorithms, got going and Christopher Hitchens, and Sam
Nonstop.
Harris.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it was, but Christopher Hitchens was the one that there was a moment where he had said something in a debate and I literally stopped what I was doing and like light bulbed and I was like, it's all bullshit. All of it. And it was amazing. And I wanted to like go outside and I was like, I want to tell everyone. And then the anger set in and I was like,
Right.
wait a second.
I've been lied to.
Have you heard the
It's
good
all
news?
bullshit. And then I came here a couple months later and still shaking.
Yep. There's a reason that people think Hitch is the man.
Yeah. Yes.
has a
Seth
way of
Andrews had said
phrasing
something
things.
once. He said he got hitch slapped. And I was like, that
Yeah.
was me. I got hitch slapped. Yes, that was fun.
That was fantastic.
Cool.
Do you have an opinion on the Alabama abortion law passed today? So
Oy.
the thing that got me wanting to know for real if I was an atheist or not
Yeah.
was I had gotten flipped from pro-life to pro-choice by watching a documentary on Netflix called
Wow.
Roe versus Wade
Okay.
because all the Kavanaugh stuff was going on in August.
Yeah.
And I was starting to get political. I was like, I'm going to listen to NPR and I'm going to learn politics. And I feel like I'm an activist, I'm going to like try to fix all this stuff. And I started watching that documentary. And something in that documentary flipped me. A woman, and I remember what it was. A woman said, if it comes down to it and it should be up to the woman or it should be up to the government, my answer will always be the woman.
Damn right.
And that light bulbed me. And again, I was like, she's right. And then I posted on Facebook immediately. I was like, I've been wrong all this time. And that started all kinds of stuff.
Right. Bodily autonomy and all that.
So that got me
Yeah.
there. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I've been doing show prep for basically most all of the day, so I can't weigh in personally on because I have not really read up on it.
I don't want to say it because I don't want to word it the wrong way.
Yeah.
Right.
Did you check out the Alabama thing today?
I did not check out the details. No, I should have.
I know that it's
I'm doing a bunch of other stuff at the moment.
legal. The laws have changed. The
Yeah.
law has been signed by the governor
Okay.
that abortion
Jeez.
is now illegal unless the mother's life is in like extreme danger.
Right.
So
Wait, they have an out there? The
Apparently-
mother's life?
from what I've heard,
Huh.
yes, that
But I've also heard that doctors will get in serious
Yes.
trouble. Yeah.
there's a lot of that. So I don't know.
And this is Alabama.
Man.
I'm not living there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some people were I read a thread about people talking about, okay, if conception, if life begins at conception, then what are the ramifications of that, And it's interesting, I go, if that's the case, then if a mother does something illegal and is put in prison, the child should the fetus should sue the state for unlawful imprisonment. I mean,
like
it's
that.
simple, right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess when it gets out, I don't know.
Yeah, you can't put an individual in prison.
Is a fetus an immigrant?
I don't know. Where do they
Because
come
they don't
from?
have a birth certificate.
Right.
Well, I mean, we got
Good one. Yes,
don't know.
they don't have a birth certificate. Wah, wah, wah.
What country do they belong to?
We got
That's
into a little
awesome.
bit of this when we had Christina Rad on, and we were talking about that. Basically, the fertilized embryos. I don't know if you heard that one at all.
What?
There's a toss-up between whether or not a fertilized embryo,
Oh yeah.
which is being stored in a freezer, is considered a person or a piece of property.
Right.
And I made the mistake of toiling away for hours and hours trying to get into the the biological and the medical minutia of this, and eventually I realized a few hours before the show started, like, oh, it doesn't actually matter because you're still trying to grant special rights that supersede the rights of the mother, whether you call it a person or not.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You are still trying to grant special rights above the rights of the mother, and that's inexcusable.
Yeah.
I don't think that you can actually, I don't think you can defend that at all.
Well, they defend it by using the word baby
Well,
Yeah.
instead of fetus,
that's
that's
just a,
pretty much their entire argument.
that's
Well, all
just
they
a,
hear is
that's
killing
just a
babies.
weasel
Right.
word. That's a weasel word, and it doesn't matter. It has no bearing on the reality.
Yeah.
So, fuck you, Alabama. You screwed up. That's my opinion.
Yep.
Question. In religious hospitals across the nation, women facing pregnancy complications die because doctors won't abort the baby. What are your thoughts about a push for secular medicine? All for it. Even when I was a Catholic, I was for that.
Yeah, religion has
There is no question.
religious dogma has absolutely no place in a medical or scientific setting.
Yeah.
I agree.
They are completely different fields that do not intersect
Right.
in any meaningful way.
And it's disturbing that a lot of the hospitals are like Catholic and stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's like crosses on the walls and
I'm going to go ahead and reach out on a limb here and say that is purposeful.
oh yeah.
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 I have to assume that's a deliberate effort.
I mean, that's my opinion. I don't know if you guys have any additional things to weigh in on top of. I don't think that they should intersect whatsoever.
Yeah, no, I remember when I was a Catholic, I would think about like in grocery stores, you know, when it comes to selling birth control or, you know, bacon or what, you know, things like that. So,
Right.
And I'd always, even as a Catholic, I was like, you know, but if you don't want to sell the stuff that the store sells, then don't work at that store.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to work at Chick-fil-A, work at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't want to work at Chick-fil-A, then don't work there. And just let them take care of themselves.
Yeah, that reminds me.
Your religious restrictions apply to you.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah.
That reminds me of, there was I know that memes aren't really very nuanced, but it was a great meme that I saw right around, it was a couple of years ago, but it was about that freaking lady that wouldn't sign the marriage license. for the
Oh,
gay couple.
right.
I forget her name because she is an inconsequential bitch. But it was a picture of a grocer, of a teller, a cashier at a grocery store saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm Muslim. I can't check you out because you have bacon in your cart. You'll have to go down to, register for." Go down to register for. "Oh, I can't check you out because you have alcohol, and I'm
A Muslim.
I'm a Muslim." It's fucking absurd.
Yeah. Yeah, I
So-
never agreed with that.
Yeah.
Another question, Joe.
Yeah,
Go
absolutely.
for it.
Let's roll through 'em.
You are the question meister here.
TARDIS chick. Hi.
Hey,
My
my
daughter.
favorite, by the way.
I love you. My daughter wants to see what church is like. Any recommendations as to the flavor of Christianity I should take her to? So that's interesting.
I would say a UU church,
Why?
because they are non-dogmatic and they are very accepting. It's really more of a spirituality thing
Interesting.
than religious, dogmatism, and there's not a lot of hard constraints.
UU is Unitarian?
Yeah, Unitarian Universalist.
Interesting. So my husband considered himself Unitarian when I met him. That's why he was okay when I screened him.
Right?
Yeah.
But he wasn't religious, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So after my deconversion, I started having conversations with him trying to figure out why he was Unitarian. And then he finally clicked and he was like, "Oh, I'm not. I'm just, I don't believe any of that stuff." So I think that the Unitarian church, I mean, I see the uses of it. If you need that kind of community, if you need that kind of stuff, I can see the uses of it. But I see it also as more of like an AA kind of thing where they slip God in, they slip
Right.
certain things in there that are appealing that you can get from church
Yeah.
and other churches. And it's just, if you're already accustomed to that kind of atmosphere, then you're more likely to accept a different kind of atmosphere that teaches different things.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What I've heard UU compared to is basically a good stepping stone for people who are trying to navigate their way out of religion.
I could see it the reverse too, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
If you grow up in a heavily religious household and you're having trouble kind of getting out of the whole the going to this community function once a week and having that community and that being a really strong thing that you rely heavily on, UU is great for getting that. And then also because, again, they're really non-dogmatic, it is a great stepping stone towards atheism.
To agree with you,
Yeah.
AA was actually part of my deconversion as well.
Really? I would not have guessed that.
And I will still recommend AA because it got me to the point where I could call God anything I wanted. And
Okay.
God didn't have to be that big man in the sky watching me. God could be Mother Nature. God was a chick.
Interesting. I've never heard that
Weird.
that perspective about AA, because I have always been pretty vehemently against AA because it injects that God concept in there, and you don't really get a choice about that. But you get to trivialize God.
I got to play with it.
Interesting.
I actually pissed some people off.
I like that. That's
cool.
That's very interesting.
My God's Mother Nature. So it is what you make it. AA got me to the point where it got me to learn that if you just sit down and shut up, you might learn something.
Okay.
Huh. Okay.
Okay. You haven't changed my mind on AA, but you've broadened my understanding of AA and not that it's not necessarily that bad.
It's not. And you don't have to do the steps.
Okay.
You don't have to. They say in every meeting, the only requirement is a desire to stop drinking. And my second AA meeting was a women's meeting. And after that meeting was my first, I've talked about light bulb moments. This was the first light bulb moment I've ever had.
Yeah.
And it was that I was an alcoholic. And that was so that's the beginning of a string of events that got me here.
Right.
So don't. It is not that bad.
Okay. I will not. I won't come down quite as hard on AA in my personal life anymore. I think we are actually at about time, so we're gonna have to.
Are we?
Yeah, we're gonna have to skip that article you had lined up.
No, that's okay.
That was so much fun, though.
Yeah.
It is fun. Okay, do I take us out then?
Yeah. Let's go ahead and take us out, Dennis.
All right. Well, that will be the end of our show. We're going to hope you eventually like it. We're endeavoring to proceed towards a future upcoming episode in 3 weeks on the inevitable 5th of June, so you might want to further your imminent anticipation.